Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Fantasy Stand Podcast, and we are here doing another draft before the start of the NFL season. It is a beautiful Wednesday outside, and we are going to hop into another weekly winner here. Unless Underdog can add some of the more lower kind of price drafts tomorrow and Friday, we will more than likely be on the Draft Wizard app. But until we officially have to go there, wanted to hop in here for another draft. This one might take a while. Obviously, I did wait a little bit later to hop in a draft, so the normal group of people who are probably on their lunch break are not here. So we will be waiting. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back as soon as the draft is filled. All right, guys, back here in the draft, and we have a minute to count down, and we have the 101. All right, we are here. The 101. We've had Christian McCaffrey in the past. We've had CeeDee Lamb in the past. We could go wild and go Bijan Robinson, but that would be very hard to take him over Christian McCaffrey, who we know is a sure thing. He's just a cheat code. And I have no idea why Tyler Algier is now getting a lot of hype out of training camp. So this is the option. This is a tough option. CeeDee Lamb won't report. It seems like the sure thing is Christian McCaffrey. Oh, I hate going this route. This is the number one pick. It's Christian McCaffrey. We're doing it over CeeDee Lamb. We have plenty of CeeDee Lamb shares. We don't have a lot of Christian McCaffrey shares. I'm going to go ahead and try this build. This is the weekly winner. We need the guy who's going to finish on top. And right now, if that's Christian McCaffrey, God, I hope it's Christian McCaffrey. But you guys know the drill. As we are drafting in this draft, and kind of crazy, Elijah Mitchell, who is still primed in that RB2 role behind Christian McCaffrey, still virtually free in drafts. He is now just a major target towards the end, just to make sure we lock up that running back backfield, especially there in the 49ers. That's the backfield we want going into this year. So we have our champion. Right now, with us being one pick away, the beauty thing is we do get 2 picks back to back. Honestly, I should have gone wide receiver there only because when I come back, you can obviously choose either another one or go back-to-back running back. And I would love Kyren Williams, Derrick Henry, or Isaiah Pacheco. Those are kind of the 3 backs that I have been attacking when I start the wide receiver first route. Right here, going to see who falls. Hoping for Devontae Adams, still believer. A lot of people sleeping on him, especially Mike Evans as well. Could take a chance on going some of these top onesie positions in Josh Allen and Travis Kelce. Josh Allen is interesting. I have 0 Josh Allen shares right now to have Christian McCaffrey and Josh Allen, and then we will see which wide receiver will pop to us. Would be happy with Devontae Adams or Mike Evans as my wide receiver 1. We, of course, will go this route and test it, especially if I'm going to go ahead and get 2 picks here. Would love Travis Kelce. However, there will be some good tight ends coming back to us. We're hoping Mark Andrews will make himself all the way through. If not, if we are able to get Josh Allen here, Dalton Kincaid will be a target. And then what we're going to do is just shore up Dawson Knox towards the end. as he is coming in later on and shore up that position as well. Then we get the stack, and if anything, could target another, or we are targeting Keon Coleman later on in the draft. So to be able to have the quarterback, tight end option there, and Josh Allen's potential wide receiver one, who I believe Keon Coleman will be, I think will put us in a really good position. We already have our champion in Christian McCaffrey in the running back. So what we can do there is pretty much wait until round 6 and 7 and take Zamir White, and hopefully he's there for us. There's still going to be Raheem Mostert possibly there. If not, some other running backs that we at least will have as our RB2, not necessarily rely as our RB1. So excited about that. We're 6 picks away. We'll see who will fall to us. Obviously, Devontae Adams is somewhat a risk. Mike Evans is a risk, depending on how these people are. Josh Allen is a risk. He's obviously the best quarterback available. There goes Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams before him, Jonathan Taylor after the 3 running backs, which means it's just going to be either Isaiah Pacheco and some wide receivers, or some of these guys are going to go and just think that having the top guy in the position. Oh, bummed about Devontae Adams. Don't choose Josh Allen here, please. Cooper Kupp, awesome. That means we are going to get Josh Allen here. Do have Mike Evans queued up as well, as he will be our wide receiver 1, and we're just hoping he dominates and gets the touchdowns there. Honestly, actually, hold on. If I play this correctly, okay, that's true. Okay, this is how I'm going to play it. Mike Evans, you are going to be my wide receiver 1. How I'm going to play this, as much as I would have loved Travis Kelce, is I'm hoping Dalton Kincaid will be there for us to complete that stack. The next pick I plan on going will be wide receiver, and I'm hoping George Pickens will be there as well. So right now, my 2 picks going into my 4 and 5 are Dalton Kincaid to get the stack, which we will pair and do our best to get Dawson Knox later on. Is with this being best ball, just kind of the best format that seems the most logical to do, and then come back and get George Pickens. Like I said, we are targeting Zamir White in round 6, 7. So with this being our 4th, 5th pick, we obviously have our quarterback. We'll get our top tight end, get our second wide receiver, and then back on the turn, hopefully get Zamir White, and there's a good chance we may have to go Keon Coleman. That's okay, especially if our 3rd running back, we can maybe get Brian Robinson that next round. Good chance he falls. If not, Jerome Ford, probably around there. A lot of people are waking up on Jerome Ford, so his ADP definitely has been rising at least a round or 2 that I've seen. Other options that could be there for that RB3 that I would take the chance on would be Trey Benson. Obviously, may not get the strong start at the beginning of the year with James Conner there, but eventually James Conner will break down, and Trey Benson will just be a workhorse and take over that role. So that's the strategy going with here, guys, and at least we're thinking. I have these 2 queued up. Would be a bummer if we miss out on 2 of them, but in fantasy football, you always have to pivot. We are 14 picks away, and right now, the thing that scares me is George Pickens and Dalton Kincaid are well within 13 picks. They're more probably around 8 and 10. So if we have to pivot, the next tight end I would target, especially around here, just so we don't have to worry about another tight end later on, because there are going to be other guys we like in those later rounds, and then you're eventually just going to keep pushing and pushing the position. But there goes Irish Thug actually in round 4 choosing George Pickens. He's going heavy wide receiver. A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison, Tank Dell, George Pickens, strong wide receiver, 4 wide receiver stack. And in this best ball format where if this guy just comes back, hammers the running back position, he's going to be able to find some top guys there. He'll be fine. So, bummed about missing out on George Pickens. We are still hopeful for Dalton Kincaid, even though we are 9 picks away. Still looking, essentially, I would love my wide receiver 2. There goes Malik Neighbors. Well, after George Pickens, DJ Moore went. Congratulations on the new contract. And maybe that also tells you what you need to know about who is the wide receiver 1 in this offense. That could be very indicating, guys. Always follow the money. And some good players are going. Hollywood Brown. Did say I want to come in here and potentially take a wide receiver. Zay Flowers set to take second-year leap. There goes Trey McBride. 2 picks away. One pick away. There goes Lamar Jackson. And now we get 2 picks. Obviously, at a dynasty is going to get Mark Andrews here. We are looking for Dalton Kincaid purely to get the Buffalo stack. Really, the main thing from here I don't necessarily want to pay up for Keon Coleman. However, 14, 21. However, he more than likely will not make it back, and that's an ADP game I do not want to play. There's still some other wide receivers we can hope to get here. Ladd McConkey, going to take a chance on that rookie. But going to take Keon Coleman here in the 5th. Would have loved to have him as in the 6th round to where we could get him, Zamir White. However, I do not want to play that ADP game really high on Keon Coleman. The kid is 6'4". Personality is great. Relationship with Josh Allen is great. The media loves him. I believe he is in a prime position to shine. So, here in best ball, I'm going to spend up round 5 on that ADP. Already looking here on the roster, we have our champion running back in Christian McCaffrey. Right now, we're just hoping that Zamir White can fall to us in round 6 and 7, or when we choose at that turn. Obviously, if we can get Zamir White as an RB2, would feel highly confident about this team. And then we'll also look at another wide receiver who could possibly be there. Right now, still some cheap wide receiver ones available. And the two main wide receiver ones that are available that I am targeting here, especially later on, because there are not many, is Lad McConkey, another rookie who is having a great connection. Projected to start. That's 6 days ago. And all reports indicate he is going to be the main guy there. And Deontay Johnson, who is the wide receiver one there. They brought him over in free agency. They're going to pass it. With the new head coach, your Bryce Young is poised to take that second year jump. You're hoping. That's how you get better. Or that's how you know the success of your pick. But they gave him some pieces. Deontay Johnson as a wide receiver 3. I'll take it to just be sufficed. Would love, obviously, Lad McConkey as well. But here we go, like in round 6, 7. Going to try and get, obviously, our stout RB2 and then our third wide receiver. Questions on Rashee Rice? Right now I have 0 Curtis Samuel shares. But with us having Josh Allen, obviously going Keon Coleman, I would love to have another wide receiver that would be poised, but Curtis Samuel did come in free agency, and he's obviously a wild card this season. Health has always been an issue, though. Well, if we're going with the Bills stack, I'll go ahead and queue him up just in case. Would love Jaden Daniels as a backup. Brock Purdy going to be great as well. We are 2 picks away. Christian Watson, still 2 picks. And very interesting to note here in the 6-7 spot, we'll see if they fall, but George Kittle, David Montgomery, Chris Godwin there. Solid vet. He would be my wide receiver 3, but already have Mike Evans. Purely would be the PPR option there. There goes Raheem Mostert. We kind of missed out on him. If Mostert was there, Zamir White and Raheem Mostert both in consideration. Obviously, I know Zamir White is going to be there. Right now, I have the option because I know David Montgomery is also going to take touchdowns and steal away touchdowns. That is a very interesting pick. Zamir White right now queued up. That's who I want. That's who I like. Ooh. There's other running backs available that even though I do like, David Montgomery. Man. Gonna go lad. We're gonna take a chance on the two young rookies. Even though Chris Godwin is there, we do have Mike Evans. Wanted a different wide receiver with upside. We are relying right now with two young rookies to fill in that wide receiver spot. The thing with that is we are going to be adding some others. I am confident in Keon Coleman. I believe he will be great in that role. Maybe should have went Deontay Johnson just to give that other veteran experience. Very interesting, though, Week 11 bye. I wouldn't necessarily say byes are going to be a tiebreaker, but in best ball, but they potentially will. So later down here, too, guys, at least 18 picks away, 7, 14. Let me see. Kind of hoping Curtis Samuel could possibly fall. That's just to get another piece of the Buffalo offense there. However, I do like Jaden Daniels, especially these three that I have queued up right here, and Curtis Samuel, Jaden Daniels, Brian Robinson. We do have Josh Allen as our champion. However, to add another rushing quarterback paired with that Cliff Kingsbury offense with a different bye than Josh Allen, and it's going to be later on in the year, so you hope that as the year goes on, he gets better as an athlete. Jaden Daniels right now is in consideration just to beef up this team. Right now, we already have a set team. We are just missing that flex piece. And as we come around this turn, will it be Curtis Samuel? Heavily relying on the Buffalo offense right there. We could say no, especially if Jaden Daniels and Brian Robinson are still available. Just because I know Brian Robinson is the 1A there. Heck, if we really think that we need to lock up that position, Austin Eckler has just been falling, so he, of course, will essentially be possibly be available as we come back around on the turn. But we are 12 picks away. We'll see who falls to us. Obviously, we're going to miss out on Deontay Johnson. Possibly Jonathan Brooks. However, I think if we could get Jaden Daniels, another top dual threat quarterback, and pair him with a third running back as our flex, who is going to get us those touchdowns, like I said, along the goal line, I think we will be in a very good spot. We'll see what Irish Thug does here, though, because he obviously only has one running back on his roster. It auto picks Ferguson. Oh, and he's going James Conner. That is telling me that he is probably targeting Trey Benson because he also has Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray. Those are great wide receivers. Even in best ball, I do try these different drafts, obviously testing out the running back first or going the wide receivers first. Heck, even switching it up at times just to see who falls. Obviously, I am pro wide receiver heavy first, especially in these 3 wide receiver formats. And then coming back and choosing your running back champion in either round 2 or 3. I prefer 3. However, the guys I love, who I used to be able to get in round 3, as like an Isaiah Pacheco, heck, Kyron Williams and Derrick Henry, all somewhat would fall in that position. They are going up a little bit higher, so you may have to just switch and go that route and then choose your next best wide receiver. But guys, in round essentially 6 and on, there are decent running back options available. Starters who produced last year, who have the opportunity to again produce this year. Yes, some pieces may have moved around. They got some backups, but in this best ball format, guys, go and lock up your backfields. We're 5 picks away. Right now, we have Christian McCaffrey and Zamir White as our RB1 and RB2. Guess what? Later on in the draft, Elijah Mitchell's a target. Alexander Madison is a target. And going to have to probably spend up more on Alexander Madison just because his name value is a little bit higher than Elijah Mitchell right now. But he will be on our radar. We're 4 picks away. And from our queued up guys, Curtis Samuel does go there. Jonathan Brooks is still available, the young rookie, exciting rookie. Jaden Daniels still there. I will say, looking down here, we will definitely lose out on Trey Benson. With how Irish Thug has been drafting. With that said, and with us already having Josh Allen, as much as I would love Jaden Daniels, I believe my 2 picks right here, just because in fantasy football, you also have to get the guys you want. And I believe Trey Benson is going to be that guy because he is that dude. So with these 2 picks, obviously add a dynasty, add a tad nasty. A tad nasty. No running backs, but Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott's goes Jaylen Warren. And the only reason I have Trey Benson right now above Jonathan Brooks is because Jonathan Brooks, one, is starting off on the pup, knowing he is going to be starting later on in the year. But also, he is coming back from an ACL injury, essentially. So those take those slower times to come back. Right here, would love Jaden Daniels. I think he is going to be great in fantasy this year. But right now, it's take your guys, and we're gonna take our guys. I'm also going to choose Trey Benson before the time runs out because I want Irish Thug to know that I chose him before just having him starred and queuing him up. So Irish Thug, I hope you're sad. I'm sure I'll probably see you in another draft where you may remember me, and you may snipe me on some picks as well. But going to take a quick peek at this roster. We have our quarterback champion in Josh Allen. It's the only reason we didn't take Jaden Daniels here because we have a surefire pick essentially this year as long as he stays healthy. Running back wise, Christian McCaffrey, we have the surefire number 1 fantasy pick as long as he stays healthy. Taking a chance here in Zamir White, believing he's going to be the true RB1 there. We'll be targeting the backup. Brian Robinson, he is the 1A to the 1B in versus Austin Eckler. And heck, when we come back around, should Austin Eckler be there? And we just don't know. Maybe he will steal away some passes and just provide that fantasy value in this PPR format. We lock up another backfield. And then plus we have the young exciting rookie in Trey Benson, which I'm pissed the Cowboys didn't draft. A lot of teams missed out on him. He was round 3? Come on, man. Like even the LA Chargers, interesting pick. They went Corum, or but I mean Benson was there. Dude's a beast. The main thing we're going to have to do in these later drafts is just try and do our best to pick the guys that have that value and could break out as rookies. There's some good rookies we're targeting. Troy Franklin, one of them. He's kind of been going up, hyping up my board until further notice. There's some other ones down here we will target, but we're 14 picks away. Probably will miss out on Jerome Ford. We'll queue up Austin Eckler. Ezekiel Elliott is going to get you 30 yards, but 1 to 2 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett's still the veteran there. Queue up Chase Brown. A lot of good positive talks with him being the first team. A little bit more. Obviously exciting news. If that continues later on, closer to the start of the regular season, obviously he's the guy. But we will wait on the consistency for the next couple of weeks. I'm just going to come in here, start queuing up some guys who can possibly give us some value and put up some top numbers this year. Pushing for key role as a rookie. Josh Downs. I'm surprised it hasn't been updated, but I've heard positive talks of him gelling very well with Anthony Richardson. Xavier Legette is another rookie I'm hoping to target. Other great rookies here in Pearsall, Burton, Rashad Bateman with the positive talks, hoping he is fully healed. We'll see if he does, in fact, take that jump that the coaching staff has been hyping this whole offseason. There's Elijah Mitchell. I'll give Will Levis a chance. What's the latest on Roman? Ankle injuries. No bueno. A lot of young, exciting rookie wide receivers. Rookie running backs. Purely queuing up guys, too, who can possibly give you value later on in this draft, even if it's quarterbacks. Strong training camp start. Man, just have a rookie quarterback with 2 rookie wide receivers. There's Jacoby Brissett, the starter there. I heard positive talks about Drake May. Dobbs is interesting. Was he going into year 3? There is a 4-headed monster there, which is a concern. Week 14. Ooh, week 14 means Week 14 means Dalton Schultz is in consideration. Okay, so right here, I do have Austin Eckler queued up purely to shore up our Washington backfield. We don't necessarily have to take a chance on anyone else. Chase Brown, possibly there. I'm honestly just thinking about who else to take. If I want to take a chance on one of these wide receivers, Rashad Bateman's so low. It's like I feel like you don't have to necessarily pay up on him. Or go ahead and get our backup tight end in Dalton Schultz. Chase Brown is there. until further notice, here's the thing. Until next week, when I hear another week of Chase Brown practicing with the starters or getting reps with the starters, that's when he's going to start kind of creeping up on the board. It's still early in camp. We have the Hall of Fame game coming up, not necessarily the full preseason, but it's coming, guys. It's exciting, and it's coming. It is July 31st, which means tomorrow is August, and then September. And then wives will be mad and disappointed, but husbands, but friends, and perhaps some wives who do love this sport or this game as well, or anyone in general. We will be happy, be glued to my phone, my app, constantly getting updates for the scores. Here's a key tip, guys. Create a X account, Twitter account, whatever you want to call it, and just go follow guys like Adam Schefter, some of these top NFL analysts that have those access to those breaking news. Because when that news does break, one, a lot of leagues do have waivers to pick up, or like when games start and everything. But there was at a time where there were some leagues where free agency was just open. Like the game was there available. Freaking Adrian Peterson goes down with an ACL injury or whatever. You could immediately then go in and add in or drop whoever was on your bench to the roster and try and get that backup if he was still available on free agency. So to have access to that information is key. So I highly recommend doing that, especially if you don't necessarily have an account. Give it a shot. You won't necessarily be angry, because it's also going to help your DFS and daily picks, because that information, especially in the morning, where my morning routine, I wake up. I used to I have a young child now, so the routine is different. But would always be wake up, get coffee, and watch, Fantasy Now on ESPN, and just have that there. And all the updated information, those are the guys on the field giving it to you straight. So keep your ears open at all times during the year. If there's one thing you do, is wake up and enjoy your Sunday. If you can. Best you can. I've had to do yard work before. I have YouTube TV on my phone. It's an app. So, turn it on, put those headphones in, and you're getting some positive work done. Multitasking. Because you're a dad. Or just an awesome person. Well, we're 6 picks away, and a little bummed because I looked up and we just missed out on a couple guys we had queued. Main one was Kirk Cousins. Was hoping to get a solid backup, and I just think he's going to sling it as he always does. The other one was the exciting rookie in Jalen Polk, who I wanted to get. Right now, we are 5 picks away. I do have another exciting rookie queued up in Xavier Legette, who I am hoping still falls to us. After him, the question remains on who I want to get and which route to go. Obviously, we will need a backup quarterback. Derek Carr has been falling, is a little bit viable. Really, we just need him to stay healthy, and as long as Josh Allen stays healthy, just be solid in that Week 12 bye. I'll have to check again, confirm. Oh, well, look at that. Derek Carr, Week 12 bye. Well, our safety option in Derek Carr is fading. The thing we can do here is still just get the guys that we want. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it. Queuing up Baker. Geno Smith goes. I'm going to queue up Baker. He's going to be my backup. Week 11 bye. I'll take it, which means Derek Carr later on, I'll still take a chance on him if he's there. But right now, queued up Xavier Legette. He is going to be our next exciting rookie to get on our roster. Like I said, I do have Baker Mayfield queued up. Would love Rashad Bateman. We do need a good backup quarterback. Will Levis fall to us? I don't know, but around that time, look at that. Elijah Mitchell is there. We need to target him. And so I just really don't want to take a chance on anyone else there. There's still some other rookies that we can have a shot at, like Troy Franklin, Jalen McMillan. Heck, now that we have Baker Mayfield on our team, Jalen McMillan is a target with us having Mike Evans as well. It just, in best ball, especially, locks up that stack should anything happen. Rashad Bateman does go after. He was the person who we were really highly considering there as well, just being that veteran piece. And heck, would have been a great fifth wide receiver option on our team. As we look out on our roster, with being 16 picks away, we got a ways. We have 2 quarterbacks right now, 5 running backs, 4 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. Right now, I always do try to be balanced, maybe targeting one more quarterback should someone like Derek Carr go, and there's no one else really there who we feel could possibly put up big numbers, big points. And guys, like I said, by put up big points, if you're a believer in Chris Olave, if you're a believer in Rashid Shaheed, guess what? Be a believer in the guy who's going to be throwing him the ball in a dome. So I'm going to leave it at that. That is why we will have him as our third quarterback option. Not necessarily we punted the position and are relying on him. We have our champion in Josh Allen. This is purely backup. So running back as well, always love to be balanced. We have one backfield locked up in Washington. We will be targeting Elijah Mitchell here to lock up San Francisco's backfield because that is a valuable backfield to lock up. We have the surefire Christian McCaffrey. Elijah Mitchell, who does have his injury concerns as well, is the number 2, which I will open this up. And, okay, now he's facing a challenging role. But Jordan Mason, not afraid of Jordan Mason. That's true. Via trade or injury, Mitchell still has value. So, Elijah Mitchell, with us being 11 picks away, is our target. And I just looked. He is within 14 picks. So he is kind of teetering along that 11, 12 pick mark. It just depends on if his name has enough value that someone chooses before him. Guess what? If they do, I'm going to go ahead, queue up down here. Man, he's pretty low in Alexander Madison. Dawson Knox, who will be our third tight end we are targeting. Obviously, with reports that he is still going to be a presence there. We have this stack in Josh Allen. We know he loves his tight ends. Boss. But that's the route that I've been going, especially when I've been investing heavily on these tight ends early rounds in this best ball format. Guess what, guys? If you go Mark Andrews, for example, instead of Dalton Kincaid, who we more than likely would have went had we not had Josh Allen there, target Isaiah Likely later on in the draft. Just make sure you have that insurance picked up in this best ball format. There are 18 rounds for a reason. Shore up your backfield, stay balanced, and protect yourself, essentially. That's all you're doing. In redraft, Probably don't have to go that route. Would it be smart? Maybe, but it is a tight end position, so more than likely wouldn't have to. With the running back, I highly recommend it, especially if you have someone as high on your draft board as a Christian McCaffrey, as a Bijan Robinson. Go ahead and get Tyler Algier in case anything happens. Saquon Barkley, of course, there's some question marks on who the backup can be. Is it going to be Will Shipley? Is it going to be Kenneth Gainwell? Jonathan Taylor, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know who's back there. But you have other guys like ETN who does have the injury history, even though he did have a healthy season last year. Can he do it again? Go out and get Tank Bigsby or whoever the possible number 2 may be. Ooh, that's his first tight end. Interesting route. But heavy wide receiver. That seems to be the popular format to go. We're one pick away. We are still hoping Elijah Mitchell is there for us. He is. Jalen McMillan shines at practice. I'm just going to make sure, Elijah Mitchell right there is queued up. McMillan said Thursday practice. He's a standout. He's going to compete with incumbent Trey Palmer. I think right here, we get our 4th wide receiver. We don't necessarily play the ADP game. No, I want Troy Franklin. I'm going to play the ADP game with Jalen McMillan. Because I'd rather have McMillan as my kind of 6th option rather than my 5th option. I also want to view the draft here because I'm always interested to see which teams start running back, which ones go, kind of switch off. And with us, we did it unconventional. We actually went first 4 picks, obviously all different positions, running back, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end. But looking at the number 2, obviously going 3 wide receivers and a QB. And then Mark Andrews, very much punting the running back position. But I love the way to see how some of these comes out. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Isaiah Pacheco, love it. Anthony Richardson, probably paid up a little bit more on 4. Could have got a good tight end, but he went back-to-back quarterback. So just wants to make sure, I guess he just locks up 2 top-tier guys. CJ Stroud, of course, going to sling it. Anthony Richardson going to rush it as well. What other builds we have here? Amon-Ra, Jonathan Taylor, Nico, Trey McBride, Rashad. That's a little that's pretty balanced, I would say. I still think Nico Collins is going to be great, even though Diggs and Tank Dell are there. Look at this other build. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. Got that stack. Zay Flowers. Xavier Worthy got that stack. Interesting team here going 2 running backs, Sam Laporta. With the 2 running backs, Breece Hall, Kyren Williams, great running backs. Sam Laporta, and then coming back and going Josh Jacobs and Joe Mixon over other positions. I feel you probably could have went someone. Maybe he was hoping for Patrick Mahomes. Or unless Patrick Mahomes was there. Am I doing that wrong? Yeah. Yeah, Pat was there. Still have a ways back to us, but we are now in round 16, which means there are 3 picks left. Looking at our roster, we need another wide receiver that we're going to try to fill out. We are hoping Jalen McMillan falls to us. In all of the players, we have a shot, but within just the wide receivers alone, he is kind of one of the top, within that top 3, kind of left available that I would choose between DJ Chark, who is battling a wide receiver 3 spot over Quentin Johnson, or Tyler Boyd, who is the wide receiver 3 there with Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins. DJ Chark goes. We're 7 picks away. Jalen McMillan's the next wide receiver name to go or left. Javon Baker, strong training camp start. Alexander Madison is also around this slot. So if Jalen McMillan is there, would love to have Jalen McMillan. After Jalen McMillan, it would either be go Derek Carr or go ahead and lock up at least Alexander Madison to get that Las Vegas backfield. Right now we do have 6 running backs though. So we have San Fran locked up. We have Washington locked up. We have the future of Arizona on our team. It's just, do we really want to ensure Alexander Madison will be that guy? Or we go someone in a strong quarterback like Derek Carr, who, like I said, will sling it. Looking around here, Bryce Young, will he take the year 2 jump? Russell Wilson, there's a calf injury there all of a sudden. J.J. McCarthy, who is behind Sam Darnold. Drake May, who is behind Jacoby Brissett. Bo Nix, young, exciting rookie. Maybe he'll beat out and win there. But then look at that. Sam Darnold, who will be the starter for however long. Taysom Hill, who's technically running back tight end. Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, who are battling it out. The value here in this weekly picks, I mean, yeah, we have 2 guys, but I mean, we just need one more who could possibly sling it. Because Baker Mayfield, I don't know how many times he's going to be throwing over 300. There goes Jalen McMillan. We miss out on that option, but what that does is it opens up the other option in ensuring that we get, man, I'm bummed about Jalen. I was kind of excited to get Jalen. But we are going to go Derek Carr here as one of our options. After that, in mind right now, it is either Alexander Madison or Dawson Knox. I'm kind of okay not going Alexander Madison purely on the fact that if I'm looking at other running backs, there's at least one in Deontay Foreman that I'd much rather have on my roster. I'd much rather take a shot on Deneric Prince. You know, will he be the number 2 there? So, tight end wise, we're going Dawson Knox. And we lock up that position. We come back around. We take our one more wide receiver shot for the year. And, of course, the one thing we have to battle in this build on the route we went is we are very heavy on rookie wide receivers. We do have our veteran presence or a strong veteran leader in Mike Evans. But after that, Keon Coleman, who I do believe will be Josh Allen's wide receiver 1, we are taking a bet and a shot that he will be, and that also Ladd McConkey will be in that Chargers offense. You have to hope that the reports are true. This is how you do the scouting before. Everyone, of course, is looking for the next Puka Nacua. Could it be Keon Coleman? Could it be Ladd McConkey? These are all rookies that you can get later on in the draft. Heck, Xavier Legette, Troy Franklin. who is going to be that rookie that you can get later on in your draft in round 13, 14, 15? Heck, undrafted in some where you go pick up Puka Nacua off waivers. Who is going to be that one to take that jump? So this is where you do have to do your due diligence and read the reports, listen to the reports, watch the highlights, and heck, even take measurements into account. Like I said, Keon Coleman got 6'4", has the frame. Don't really necessarily know Latin Kong, but I think Xavier Leggett, 6'1", Neotech Troy Frank as well. But big-bodied receivers who have that shot to take over. With us looking at this roster, one wide receiver is what we need to keep it balanced. If Alexander Madison be there, he of course could be in consideration only because we have Zamir White. And then guess what? In this build, we go 7 running backs instead of 6 wide receivers. Ten picks away now. 9 picks. There goes Darius Slayton. I don't know why I announced that like he was on our board. But we are officially 9 picks away in this draft. Let me go ahead and just queue up the wide receivers just to see who is available. Javon Baker, guess what? Another, he goes right there. But a possible wide receiver who could have taken a leap. Jalen Hyatt. Obviously, he reports once down the depth chart 3 months ago, but could he take a year 2 jump? Kadarius Toney suffers ankle injury. Gross. Kendrick Bourne, who is starting out on the PUP, will be back later in the year, but from an ACL injury. Honestly, guys, there's not really anyone who we can take. Wow, Valdez-Scantling on the roster bubble. Was looking for, with him being in Buffalo, definitely caught my attention. Three picks away. Honestly, guys, just looking at this draft or with the wide receivers who are available, I just don't know if going wide receiver is the route. Like I said, Valdez-Scantling on the bubble. It's our turn. Alexander Madison is there. Right now, it just makes sense that he's going to be that guy to lock up our position. So we are 20 picks away. Looking at this roster, averaging a little over 180, I'll take that as a win. 3 strong quarterbacks. We'll go ahead and take Alexander Madison here, which will give us a little bit more of an imbalance, give us 7 running backs over the 6 wide receivers we normally try to leave with. But weekly average 186, and right now, this is our Buffalo Bills stack, essentially. Didn't get James Cook. That would have honestly completed it. Could have probably worked a little bit harder on acquiring him. But going this way, going this route, still feeling very confident in my running backs and just locking up those positions. So we started at the 101. Of course, went Christian McCaffrey. Actually, not really a course. Like I said, in my redraft, that will more than likely be CeeDee Lamb. If you can just report to camp, please report to camp, CeeDee Lamb. They're going to pay you. Everyone's getting paid. You're going to get your money. Because guess what? If you don't get it now, next year, it's only going to be more. So CeeDee Lamb normally would be the pick there, but we decided to go Christian McCaffrey. which ultimately led to this Buffalo Bills build. So Christian McCaffrey, leading off running backs, going the Christian McCaffrey route. Christian McCaffrey, Zamir White, Brian Robinson. We got Trey Benson as our RB4 because I believe he is the future in that Arizona backfield. Austin Eckler was available with us, became a target once we got Brian Robinson on our team just to get the PPR points there. Elijah Mitchell, of course, fell to us and became available, and we locked him up as our RB2 in San Fran. And last pick of the draft, Alexander Madison there. Couldn't really find another wide receiver we like, so decided to go and pick up him just to shore up Zamir White. So all of our running backs essentially are backed up and secured, other than Trey Benson, where we obviously don't have James Conner there, but we believe he will eventually break down. Wide receiver-wise, got our champion in Mike Evans. Believe he's going to be a good, strong veteran presence, get those touchdowns. Got Keon Coleman as Josh Allen's wide receiver 1, who I believe will be Josh Allen's wide receiver 1. Ladd McConkey, who reports he's the wide receiver 1 there, going to take over. Xavier Legette, who, even though they brought Deontay Johnson, they have Adam Thielen there. He will at least be that wide receiver 2 and eventually possibly take over that wide receiver 1 role. He is the younger, exciting rookie. Troy Franklin, another rookie we took a chance on. Positive reports are just of the player with the connection there in Bo Nix. So hoping for just some magic. So obviously wide receiver is our biggest question mark. With tight end and us having Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid was the tight end we left with over Mark Andrews, who was still there. Got Dalton Schultz later on the draft. Different buy. Will definitely be a solid number 2 tight end, especially with us taking that chance on Dalton Kincaid. Also made sure to get Dawson Knox just to shore up that Buffalo tight end field, and just in case anything happens. So feel pretty happy about this roster again, guys. I guess we're always pretty happy, somewhat happy, how we leave the draft, especially when you leave with some of your guys. So having Josh Allen, potential QB1, Christian McCaffrey, QB1, Mike Evans, and Keon Coleman potentially be, top 10, 15 wide receivers. I think we are in a decent spot. Dalton Kincaid, top 5 tight end. We are in a pretty decent spot with this roster build. So really appreciate you guys being here on this episode of the Fantasy Stand. Thank you again for following along. We'll bring you another draft. Like I said, may not be on Underdog tomorrow, but we'll do the Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard if not. So thank you again, guys. Y'all take care, and we'll catch you again later.